Hello there, Bic Benedict here. We're playing Uncharted 2 Remastered on Brutal difficulty. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on chapter 22 of 26. It is entitled The Monastery. So this is definitely the longest video of the walkthrough. The first part is just like, let me see, I think it was chapter 12. When I called it elementary stealth, this is indeed elementary stealth. It's extremely basic. I believe there's just 4 enemies. I think that you have no weapons here, you know, because the last chapter we were just, jumping off of trucks. So I think that we're completely devoid of weapons, like we were when we started the train wreck section. So you can actually drag both of those guys off the ledge over there. Now, you can just completely bulldoze your way through this. Look how easy this is to take care of these guys. It's actually quite a joke. I believe I'm going to show you where the crossbow is. Now, this is a weapon of stealth that I'm going to be using. Oh, it's the crossbow. I hope that's what it's called. Let's see. There's a couple of parts up ahead. Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, we're gonna try to do some stealth. The operative word there being try. There's a course right there that has more rounds for the crossbow. The crossbow, as I've mentioned before, only holds 5 rounds. Oh, of course. Yeah, this part here. Notice the position of the gray enemy. It's going to switch. He's at that one position that he was before the edit the first time. All subsequent times you reset the checkpoint, he will be at the location that he was now. Look at this. There's no end to the fun of doing that. But anyway, you have to wait a moment. After you kill the first enemy, this guy can see you as you're pushing that guy off the edge of the cliff, unless you wait a moment. So now what's going to happen, we've taken out the guy that was on the higher ledge. You remember him? So now what we're going to do is just take care of a couple of these guys over here. And the thing that I really object to over here is that you see the problem about this, guys? Sometimes hell, most times you're going to get different paths for these enemies. So it doesn't even matter, if I show you a perfect stealth route, because in all likelihood you're probably not even going to get that route. You see this guy over here, how he's standing in the position he's at? Sometimes he's facing away from you. That can be a bad and a good thing. So what is definitely not a good thing is that if you stealth all of these enemies, you still get seen and you still have to go fight enemies. Because I've done this via stealth completely. Didn't screw up. I had a close call where one of the enemies thought that he saw me, but I took care of everybody without any weapons drawn. Now the jig's up. So what I object to is just the fact that if you're not going to give me a checkpoint, fine. But if I go all of the way through a room and do stealth that barely works in the first place, why do you have to throw, why does the jig have to be up? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, guys, there's a crossbow over to the left. See, there's some handholds, so you can go over there and get it, but it's really inconvenient and it takes too long to do, so I don't like to do it. There's a crossbow at the very beginning of the chapter and on that course, so that should be all the crossbow rounds that you need. So quite a sad situation in totality, because why does your cover have to be blown when it really isn't blown? The player is punished for doing a good job, and that's never a good thing. So you want to see a Rocky Balboa punching match? Well, you're going to see one in a moment. I knew the heavy was coming over here. And the only reason that this punching match, see this how he grabs you like that? I think sometimes it gives you the Y prompt, or excuse me, the triangle prompt. We're gonna see in a moment, but there's no way to not let that happen. Same with that punch. You can't do anything but let him hit you at that point. Let's see, triangle. See, they gave me the triangle there, but you can be certain of the fact that I was pressing triangle before, and I couldn't get out of that grab. But how'd you like that punching match, man? That only was allowed to go on because we were behind that door there. I will show you the general location of where you get a checkpoint, but one of the hazards of the walkthrough is sections like this, and that's why I didn't really enjoy. In hindsight, I didn't really enjoy the Uncharted 4 guide because of the fluctuations in the enemy pathing, and this is just inexcusable. There should not be a punishing situation for the player if he is successful in doing all that stealthily. So, at least, at least you can do the majority of the enemies without being seen. But and I'm not kidding. You'll finish the last guy, and then Elena will say something. I don't know exactly what she says, but I think it's like they're coming. Like they're coming. I just killed everybody and I didn't make a sound. They're coming. Unbelievable. But chapter 22, guys. It's potentially the hardest chapter in the game, and there's one fight that's very difficult. Now the fight that's coming up, let's see, like after the second checkpoint that's coming up is difficult, but I have a very good way of getting you through it. And pretty much I'm going to be favoring the 9mm, the 92 SF as I believe it's called, as well as the M4. We'll eventually get to using the sniper rifle because you will need to use it a bit later. Now, let me give you a word of warning. There's actually, at this point in the game, there's 2 enemies left. See, there's one there and then one to the left. If you rewind it, you'll see that there's 2 enemies. But the second guy put me down, and then I got a checkpoint. So once you kill the remaining, once you kill all but about 2 enemies, or maybe it's just all but one, you do get a checkpoint over there. So just bear in mind that I did have to cut the video at a point where I could realistically put an edit mark, and I just wanted to be honest about that with you. Now another attempt at honesty here: vacillation. You might not know what that word means. A very easy synonym to know about that word is that it just means hesitation. I think somebody got away on this part too. I don't think I killed everybody on this part because I think there's 2 gray. Well, weren't there 2 gray guys? I think one of them dropped down there. I'm not sure. Maybe Elena ended up killing him. There's a heavy over here. Heavy duty shitter. Here he is right there. Got away with that. Very lucky about doing that. Now this is a potentially difficult section. Where, you might ask, where do you get the checkpoint? They give you a good checkpoint right after you push that wheelbarrow or whatever the hell it is. It's I mean, it's probably not a wheelbarrow, but it's a cart of some kind, a cart of shit. That was a close call too. That usually doesn't happen where I live, but as you're going through, there's the heavy over there. What does he have? Is that another heavy? Didn't I don't know. Usually the heavies wield shotguns. But oh, okay. Why'd you bring up the word vacillation? The thing is, on the previous fight and on this fight, there were many a time. And by the way, if you go all the way over to the right, there's a grenade and a pistol. If you want to get that. There were many a time where there's a lot of like dead footage where like right here there's a couple of edits. And all that's happening behind the scenes, guys, there's nothing shade. Like right there was another edit. All that's happening is I'm going around and just staying in one place and being extremely careful, and just looking around and wasting a bunch of time that just eats up way too much time on the video. So when you jump into this room, go exactly to where I am now, and start blind firing the guy to the right, and then take care of all of the enemies up ahead by the turret. So this is potentially a difficult room, because you have to know that when you come into this room, you're going to be vulnerable up until the moment that you get behind cover. And hell, even now you might be a little bit vulnerable if these enemies decide to make sudden moves on you. I think the enemy that I was just aiming at left, and now he's hiding behind the sandbags over there. So that's... Just realize, I just wanted to be very plain. Now, you might watch the video and say, why are these cuts here? Well, the cuts are there because instead of having perhaps an hour-long video, with those cuts, I can maybe have a 45-minute video or a 50-minute video, a video that I don't mind talking for an extra 15 or 10 minutes. However, it just makes the video more concise, less fooling, less bullshit. Like, you don't need to see me, doing absolutely nothing and just peering around corners and just staying in one place, looking at things, being indecisive, because you know me, I'm extremely indecisive. But at this point, if you die, you get a checkpoint. So all you have to do is just kill everybody that we've killed so far, and then hop onto the turret, and then you're going to get yourself a checkpoint. And I almost ran out of bullets. I believe at the end of this I had 8 bullets now. You have to account for inaccuracy, of course, but it's amazing how much defense these heavies have. And if you run out of bullets, don't worry about it. You've got a checkpoint. So after this, it's very important. Do not reset the checkpoint, because all of the dropped weapons will disappear. And if you want to do the weapon switching trick, your potential to fully utilize it could be compromised, because you'll have fewer weapons to switch between. So be careful about outright resetting the checkpoint over there. They do checkpoint it after the fight, but if you reset the checkpoint again, you'll see that all of the enemies that you killed that were on the ground, those are gone, as well as all the weapons that they dropped, those are all gone too. That's what happens on this game. Well, no matter how you slice it, as they say, that's how the game is handled, and that's how things stand currently. There's just certain things that you have to accept. For instance, there's a vertical shooting gallery section coming up where it would have been nice to be able to drop on top of enemies, but that was only something that they started to implement in the third game. So it's a progression. You can definitely see it. In the first game you couldn't pull enemies off ledges, and now you can. And yet, starting in the third game was the only time that you can drop on enemies. This is a very impressive segment of voice acting, because you're probably not going to be able to hear it, but Elena's scream of fear over here, her gasp, is absolutely just a marvel of performance. It's not just the gameplay that's really stellar in this game. It's the feeling that these voice actors invoke within you of truly being in this adventure and feeling what they feel, and you can definitely feel her fear in that scream. It was I'm not sure who the voice actress is, but she did a absolutely brilliant, because they have nothing to really work with in a sound studio. It's not like they're really jumping from a perilous piece of a platform to another. But anyway, we're going to be making our way up here now, and one of the reasons too that I use the pirate I hate Nathan Drake's snowsuits. I find them not pleasing to look at, and it's really nice that they give you so many options. I've also turned off the voice effects because I'm sick of hearing the side characters saying "Oh no" when I die. Because believe it or not, I die a lot on brutal difficulty, and I'm just really tired of hearing them say that. And the pirate's voice is a little objectionable too. He started to talk in the second game, and he's I don't know who this guy is, but I like the look of him, but his voice actor is horrible.
All right, just try to be subtle. We don't want to attract any unnecessary attention.
So we've got some difficult sections coming up, but and I know it's going to be different from one player to the next, but I want to warn you that there's a incredibly difficult section near the end of this chapter that I believe trumps the difficulty that you're going to experience on the next coming fights. Now it could be different for you because, like I said, it varies from the individual, but what you're asked to do on this last section of gunplay on this chapter is quite a lot, and I feel that it's the hardest part of the chapter, if not the game. So just bear that out as you do this, and think about whether or not you want to toss that grenade, or whether you want to save it. So anyway, this is where we're going to be doing a little bit of stealth at first. It's quite sad that you can't do more with this because feel free. This is the checkpoint area, by the way. You're gonna be pulling him off that quite a lot. Unfortunately, you can only stealth kill the one that we just did, and then this guy, and then the guard on the other side of this room. That's it. That's all you can do. So after you take care of this guy over here, after you cross this beam, what I was doing before I decided against what I'm going to tell you next is to come on to the other side. But what I was doing before was I was jumping. See that guy down to the left in the gray? He'll never see you unless you start firing. The guy that we stealthed just now, a moment ago, you can jump out a window, and there's a pair of enemies that you can toss a grenade in between, and you can and deal with them that way. But getting back over to this piece of cover is very difficult, since the enemies are going to be aggroed at that time. And again, I'm sorry that trophy's popping up there. I forgot to disable the notifications. I guess it doesn't matter too much, but this by far is the safest area to hold up. Now, this is the vertical shooting gallery that I was talking about a moment ago, and if you remember the last guy that we stealthed, the one in front of the window on the other side, the one who's now lying dead, if you stand on that side, you can shoot enemies through the floorboard. They can't shoot you, but you can shoot them. But it ends up being a strategy that just takes a little bit too long, and it's just not it's not the best place to stand. You're also subject to enemies climbing up the ladder. I'll show you the ladder in a moment, but there is on the other side of the room, there's a green ladder that enemies can ascend and possibly shoot you. Now I'm gonna come over here and see what exactly we have over here. There are usually two guys in black over here. I don't know where they are. They may have been killed. It's possible that they have been. They're guys with Desert 5s or Desert 7s, whatever version of that exists in this game. But this is kind of up to you at this point. There's a grenade over here that you don't want to forget. It's right here. I'm fairly sure that as long as you get down to this location, and as an aside, I want to mention that you don't get a checkpoint yet. I don't believe that you have to kill these enemies down here, guys. So that grenade that I just tossed was, in hindsight, I believe, a wasted grenade. I'm going to make up for it later, but I'm just telling you that I believe that all you need to do once you get to this level is just jump to the right, and you're going to get a cutscene. In fact, you're going to see me jump in a moment and get the cutscene, get the checkpoint, and finish this, because this is very difficult. It's hard to tell where people are, and if if you can just push the checkpoint, why not? So my fallback weapons personally, just, you probably know them. It's just the 9mm and the M4. I feel most comfortable with those weapons. So in a moment, you're going to see me just jump over here to the right, and then this triggers this. So they're going to put you right in front of a piece of cover. A lane is going to get an entrance into this area, and then you've got a fight over here that's pretty damn difficult. Now, the one guy you've got to take care of first, without any doubt, is this guy, because he is a grenade launcher enemy, and his grenades will knock you out of cover and shake the screen and upset you. Believe me, they'll upset you. Now, you want to grab the dragon sniper rifle and take care of the guy with the shield. Since I realized that I wasted a gun, or excuse me, well, I don't think I realized it at the time I was playing, but since I knew I only had 3 grenades left, I wanted to reserve them for any like emergency situations. I don't consider the guy with the shield an emergency per se when I have a sniper rifle and I can knock him down with the first shot and then hit his body with the second shot. I do believe that I got a critical on him somehow, so that I only had to use 1 bullet of my sniper rifle to take him down. So what's going to happen is all of these enemies are going to be marching down the bridge towards your location. You're going to have a whole heap of bodies piling up, and the heavies number 2 in quantity, but they don't come out until near the end. You notice that we've killed out a lot of enemies so far, but we haven't spawned any heavies. They're coming, trust me. Believe me, they're coming. So if you run out of ammunition on this part, enemies will approach you and you can do stealth takedowns on them. It never came to that because I've already done this section a long time ago and I knew exactly what I was getting into over here. One of the main problems, as you can guess, is that getting from cover to cover when you're trying to switch your weapons is very difficult, and you can just die, very easily. But the nice thing is, there's a pistol over here, and you can blind fire kill people, and look how close that grenade was to me. It didn't give me a scratch, and it didn't drive me out of cover. I really appreciate that. There's the heavy, winding his goddamned horn. Son of a bitching heavies. Now this one, let's see what happens. Again, not a scratch on me. It was pretty damn close to me, wasn't it? Not a scratch on me, didn't drive me out of cover. In Uncharted 3, that would definitely have knocked me out of cover. I don't appreciate getting knocked out of cover. Look how fast you can die on this game. Why should a grenade drive you out of cover? Again, look at this. I probably didn't even need to move out of cover right there. But the grenades are just perfectly balanced in this game. They're more unfair to the enemy, as they rightly should be, because a lot of times in this game, even on crushing difficulty, you can't move very much. So now you want to march your way down here, and at this point you don't get a checkpoint. So you've got to be extremely aggressive in killing these enemies over here, because up until the moment when you push up, you don't get a checkpoint. Now, I don't know when you get a checkpoint, you guys. Say, for instance, this guy over here, this little hider who just threw a nade at me, if he killed me, I might have to redo the previous fight over again. So it might be as simple as just going into that room and they give you a checkpoint, but I don't know where it is. Okay, I have died on it, but it was a couple years ago, so I don't remember where you get the checkpoint. I'm fairly certain that at this point I don't have a checkpoint. So we've got to be very careful, at least as careful as we can be, you know. But on crushing difficulty, I do remember, and this was just like less than a week ago. I remember coming up to about that doorway area, getting killed, and having a checkpoint. I can't remember if I was in the room or out of it, or halfway to, you know, getting through it or something, getting mowed down. But I do remember that there was a checkpoint somewhere over here. But when you come on up here and that guy to the left with the laser spawns, I'm almost positive that at that point you still don't get a checkpoint. You've got a little bit more to do. So I'm sorry I can't be more specific about where that checkpoint is. I honestly wish I knew where it was. But the nice thing is, before you come down here, you've got your picking. You can pick and choose exactly what you want. Like, I think at around this point they do give you a checkpoint. See this? These guys spawning? I'm almost positive that they give you a checkpoint. And you may ask, why didn't you just press the menu button and see if you were getting a checkpoint? Well, honestly, because it's disruptive to the video, and I don't want to have to make any edits that I don't have to. Not because I'm lazy. It's just because you can tell when there's an edit, and I'd rather have the footage seamless. And if I'm gonna get killed, I'm just gonna get killed. So, my idea is just do the best you can, and if you die, you die. You know. The headshots in this game, the percentage of getting a critical hit with a headshot is way down from the first game. It's pathetic. I've also confirmed that you don't get extra loot for stealthing enemies on Brutal. That's only something that happens on Crushing. That ninja mask icon in blue, it only exists on Crushing. So they being Naughty Dog, or excuse me, Bluepoint, they decided not to carry that over to Brutal. You also get iframes from the SWAT turn. Bullshit, Buck Benedict. I'm not kidding. You get iframes from doing what I just did right there. How many do you get? I have no clue. But I know you get iframes from doing it. Fuck you, Buck Benedict. You don't get jack shit for an iframe. Why would they just up and give you iframes for that? I don't know. But I do know that you get iframes from it. Trust me. Yeah, but definitely don't trust this Buck motherfucker. He doesn't know what he's doing. Now, we're going to be getting... I need to put a little lotion on my hands. My hands are really dry. We're going to be executing about 3 soldiers over here. Now, there is a grenade over here, and there is a 9mm. However, since I don't have any 9mm rounds left, I have some, but not many. What I'm going to do is I'm going to head on over here, pick up the pistol, and then come back later and switch it once I've executed the remaining 2 enemies over here. So there's the pistol. I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to climb this ladder, and usually these guys are indisposed, meaning that they're preoccupied with firing at Elena, so you can snap their necks pretty easily. If anyone gives you a fight, just melee them. Now, what I'm going to do next is come down. I don't think I grabbed the grenade down here either, did I? No. So we're going to pick up the grenade. We're going to pick up the, we're going to switch the pistol for the 92 FS 9mm, so that we can increase our round count. Okay, now we've got 71. Anything over here? Nothing. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is, and there needs to be some behind the scenes information over here. I wasn't aware that there was a grenade over here. I'm going to show you exactly where it is. So just bear in mind that there's the grenade. There's another pistol there, by the way, too. Now, the thing is, when you're about to grab that grenade over there, the rocket launcher guy that's firing at us now, he doesn't actually start firing at you until you get to the checkpoint area. I had to redo. I had to jump down there and re-edit the video to show you where the location of the grenade was, because I wanted it, and it was important to know that it's over there. So anyway, the first target that you need to take care of is the guy with the grenade launcher, because he's the one causing all of the havoc. Once you kill him, he comically causes his tower to fall down by firing a last grenade before he falls down and dies with his tower. Now you may notice a group of enemies running across the bridge. Now this is a little sniper pit that the game gives you for as an award for exploring. And if you are wanting a really easy time through this area, you can just stand back here and fire the sniper rifle at all these guys. Should you run out, no worries. There's a grenade, or excuse me, there's a sniper rifle right to the left of where we're standing, and that just further proves that this is a just one of those little hidden locations that, well, it's not altogether unhidden, but it's just it's not pointed out, so it's just a marvelous place to stand now. You can't hit everybody from over here. You can hit the rightmost tower guy from over here, but the remaining sniper rifle enemies, you will have to go back up to where we started and take care of those guys individually. But the nice thing about that, and the beautiful thing, is that you can stand there and take care of nearly every one of those enemies that crossed the bridge. Because would you rather take them out from the safety of that sniper pit that we were just in, or would you rather try to do it over here while you've got snipers trying to kill you at the same time as a whole bunch of other enemies trying to kill you? It's your pick. So bear in mind too that the next fight is incredibly difficult. How long did it take me? 20 minutes, but I've already done it. It took me a couple hours last time. So what I would recommend is the M4 and the 9mm. There is a grenade launcher. Well, there's several grenade launchers on the next part. And if you're thinking about bringing a Dragon Sniper rifle to the next part, that's your choice. I wouldn't recommend it because I just don't think that it's going to be... you're definitely doing long-range combat. You're also doing medium-range combat, but there's a sniper rifle there too. So, it is kind of hard to get to, but it's possible to get to it. So the reason why the next fight is difficult is because the cover is just not too good. It really isn't, but... the other factor about this fight that's coming up is that throughout the fight, if you do it the wrong way, you'll have a sniper rifle enemies perched at different locations on the map. Like, they will be at every point of the compass. I don't mean every point, but I mean north, south, west, and east. They're pretty much everywhere. So, but they only will appear if you go up a certain amount of distance, so that you can kill all of the enemies that charge you, and then just take out the sniper rifle guys. That would be my best advice. I did it way too difficultly last time, so this method that I'm doing now is an improvement over the last time I did this, which is another reason why I love doing these project redux, because they afford me the opportunity of looking back, analyzing my footage, reassessing its merit, and when I don't think it's good enough, I will improve it. And I usually call those advanced tactics. So anyway, now we're looking good. We're looking very good. We've got 4 nades. We've got maxed out ammunition. They're going to start you on the right side, and these enemies, they're going to be aggro from the start, so there's no even mentioning stealth. It's not a factor. So you want to come down over here first of all. The dragon sniper is on this level that we're at. It's at the extreme right. The guy that we just took out up there, there's going to be a grenade launcher enemy, but up and to the right a little ways, about halfway through the map, like straight ahead and then over to the far right, there's a grenade launcher. I'm going to pick it up at some point, so I'll show you exactly where it is, but the thing that you want to do now is just pick off all of the enemies that you can from the safety of this vantage point. This vantage point being far superior to the right because you're much more vulnerable on the right. Now, I believe this is the last guy before the second wave. And once he's dead, you want to go back to the same area that you started at when the game spawned you. However, you want to alternate between these two posts down here. You're going to see enemies spawning to the left. These are just regular enemies. You've got to really be careful of the guys with the M4s because they can do what you just saw. Okay. Now, the cover isn't the best. It isn't good cover. But that doesn't mean it's not cover, and cover in this game is functional. It's inherently functional. So what you need to do is take advantage of it and do the best that you can. Now these enemies over here include one of the heavies. So we haven't used any grenades yet. So what I'm trying to do is see if I can get any groupings of enemies. That was the aim throw that I just did. It didn't work out too much. There is a guy with a grenade launcher to the left and above, but he really won't be too much of a problem for us from here because we've got the safety of this location. Everybody up here will pretty much kind of march up to where that last guy was that we just dropped, who had the shotgun, and this son of a bitching heavy down there. I seem to remember him approaching me one time and me stealth killing him. I know it's odd to think of stealth killing an enemy that's already aggroed, but you can do that. But on all the takes that I did over here, he didn't march his way up here. So just if he's coming for you, the worst thing about this would be to be here with no ammunition. So I warned you throughout the video. I warned you this is the hardest fight. So anytime they throw a grenade, just use the SWAT turn to the other side. There's also iframes when you're sliding into cover. That's a difference between Uncharted 1 and 2. In Uncharted 1, there is no sliding into cover. Is there rolling into cover? Yeah, there is. This game doesn't have that feature. It has the sliding into cover. I wish it had both. Rolling into cover would be more appropriate if you're a little bit too far away from any cover that you're going to. But it doesn't let you do that. So now we've taken care of most everybody. I think this may be is this the guy with the grenade launcher? There's about 2 enemies up where this guy's at. So as you can see, or maybe as you can maybe not see, there are no enemies that are trying to snipe us. However, watch as we progress down the map, and you'll see things change. Now we're gonna go for the grenade launcher. I'm only doing this as kind of an experiment to see how well it would work because oh yeah, first of all, I need to make sure that there's nobody up here, and there is in fact somebody up here, this guy over here in gray. This is not a very good spot either because the aiming is pretty tight up against the little broken wall over here. He's probably got an M4 too. Enemies with M4s in this game are the most dangerous. I would compare it to enemies in Gears of War with that have the Lancer, because it's non-stop suppressive fire. And okay, so now that we've confirmed everybody's dead, how do you confirm that? Well, just take a look, see it, and see what's going down. And since nothing seems to be going down, we're going to go down over here and grab you like my puns, by the way? What you doing, Elena? Hanging out? Just stay tight, kid. No checkpoint quite yet. We've done this for about 5 minutes. Okay, here's the grenade launcher up here. I'm gonna go grab it, and then notice as sniper rifle enemies spawn. I don't know what they have exactly. I don't know if they have sniper rifles or if they have Desert Sevens. I'm not sure what they have, but at this point, you're gonna have the opportunity to shoot them with their grenade launcher. I just find it a little bit more satisfying than doing this personally. But remember that you've got to aim a little bit over them because of the see how I missed him. We need to do a little bit better with aiming and account for the arc of the grenade. There we go. Now remember this guy. Be careful of him. I would recommend him as one of your primary targets at first because he can pretty much take a piss on you from where he's at. There's an enemy up there, and then there's an enemy over here. See how difficult this would be with all of these guys trying to fight the others? So this is much better to just take care of all of these guys after you've cleared all of the guys that are on the ground floor. And then I find looting really fun. Anyway, so we're out of grenades. I can't seem to be able to hit this guy from where I'm at now. So he's the only thing standing in the way of us getting a checkpoint. So we're gonna make sure that we don't screw this up. So having a little you fucker, fuck you motherfucker. There's the dragon sniper rifle. Man, I can't hit this guy from here. That's the issue. I can't do a SWAT turn, so I'm gonna see if I can't just put him down. Shit towner. Fucking shitter. Okay, guys. Now arises the question of what do you want to take into the 23rd chapter. You might notice, have a grenade launcher equipped. I've also got a 9mm. So I could have brought the M4 with 160 rounds into the next fight, but I thought, I know that the beginning of the next fight is very chaotic, and there's a lot of. I might be able to cluster spawn kill a bunch of enemies for myself, and that's what I'm really hoping to do. So that I hope that you can also do that as well. So 7 rounds is all I have with the grenade launcher. I will be using one of the grenade rounds on the next fight for the shield fucker. However, I think there should have been some grenades in that last room. I checked everywhere. There was nothing. No grenades. And admittedly, I used 4 on that fight. I shouldn't have done that. Why do we do the things we do, guys? Who knows? But maybe if we hadn't used them. I mean, hell, we've got a grenade launcher. So we should be all good for now, at least. So, Last fight, and this video ended up being 15 minutes shy of an hour. Last time it was an hour. Okay, so now that we come up here, I put the voices back on too. So here's the last encounter. They're pretty much already aggro. This is the only guy you could, take out. And then you want to snap into cover. This is where a pistol is if you want that. I'm actually going to pick that up for the time being. The shield guy is going to be coming down here. I'm going to use one of my 7 grenade rounds for him because they can be a hassle. They really can. There's a sniper rifle in this room, but it's inconveniently placed. You might see it over here. But so 73 rounds with the 9mm and 6 grenade rounds with the grenade launcher. If we can't do it, then we aren't worthy players. I thought this was one of the last guys down here. It turns out somebody else is around here. Got a double. See what they do? The thing about this is that they don't put the triangle icon, and you can't mash triangle when you're trying to counter. You've got to press it at a certain time. Like I think he does it over here too. And it's funny how sometimes they do put the triangle button on the screen. It's just a random thing that they do. They either don't do it 9 out of 10 times, or the one time out of 10 times they put the triangle button for yourself in. So, who knows? There are so many underlying mechanics. There's probably a trillion things going on beneath the surface that we'll never know what's going on. But chapter 22, guys, the Monastery. I hope you enjoyed it. But more importantly, I hope it helped you out. Take care.
Up there. That must be where they're holding Schaefer. Ah, crap.